Volkswagen has just released a brand new Golf R. It's more powerful than ever and it gets loads of new technology, including a special driving mode that normally only comes on high-end AMGs, but more on that later. I reckon the new Golf R could be the best hot hatch of 2021, and in this video, I'm going to explain why. I'm Matt Watson and you're watching CarWow.
Buying a new car? Then head to CarWow and my team will help you find your next car at a fair price. CarWow, your one-stop car buying comparison site.
There are some people out there who think the old Golf R looks a bit boring. I don't agree with them at all. I think it looks sportier than a regular Golf, and it's still subtle enough that you can pick up your mother-in-law without her getting all embarrassed climbing into it. Now you try doing that in a Honda Civic Type R. You're not going to get away with it, are you? Now this new Golf R is pretty much as stealthy as the old one. In fact, I actually reckon it's the best looking of the new range of Golfs. Though that's not saying much, is it? Because they all have that kind of weird monobrow. Anyhow, those angular headlights look good above the new bumper with its big blue fangs. Although the way those bits point up sort of reminds me of a dog with a big underbite, like some Frenchie. Anyway, let's get back to the car. The Golf R suspension is 20mm lower than on the regular Golf, so it has much more of an aggressive stance on the road. And round the back, you get a nice big spoiler and 4 real exhaust pipes. Yes, real exhaust pipes, thank God for that. There are none of those horrible fake bits you get on the normal Golf. They're awful. But do you like the way it looks? Or does it look too much like a regular family hatchback to you? Have they not kind of turned up the heat on the design enough on this car? Let me know. I'll put a pinned comment below this video. You can vote to give me your opinion on that. Volkswagen shares loads of its bits with Audi, so the standard Golf is basically the same as the new Audi A3. Well, when you take off all the badges and the cooler looking bodywork, Audi basically gets the best looks and the best kit and the better quality interior because it's the posher, more expensive brand. Makes sense. However, this hasn't actually happened with the new Golf R. Now, I was expecting it to have the same horsepower as the new S3, 310 horsepower to be precise, but somehow Volkswagen has managed to sneak in an extra 10 horsepower. So the new Golf R is more powerful. It makes 320 horsepower. Now this means the new Golf R is more powerful than a BMW M135i and a Mercedes AMG A35, as they only have 306 horsepower, and the Golf R has 420 Nm of torque, which is more than you get in an Audi S3 or an AMG A35. They only have 400 Nm of torque. Oh yeah, Volkswagen is moving up in the performance world. But the best bit about the new Golf R's engine is that you can get it with an optional titanium exhaust from a Krapovich. Yes, that's the way you say it, not Akrapovich or something like that. It is a Krapovich. The Krapovich exhausts always sound brilliant. In fact, have a listen to this one here on the old Golf R. Do you like it? The new Volkswagen Golf has a decent interior. It's simple and modern and you get lots of tech as standard, although some of it's a bit of a faff. Now, it's the same story in the Golf R. Just like with the old R, you don't have the tartan seats that you get in the GTI. Instead, there's a load of black and blue bits. It's a bit more mature, a bit more grown up, a bit less red. There are some stitched R logos on the seats and you get a steering wheel with a special R button. This is a bit like the N button you get in a Hyundai i30N, or if you want to move up in the world, it's a bit like the M button you have in a BMW M5. When you press it, everything in the car instantly goes into its most mental mode.
You're a mentalist!
This is great because you don't have to mess around with the settings or menu screens if you want a quick blast down a country road when the opportunity suddenly presents itself. Golf Rs have always come with all-wheel drive. It's one of the reasons they're so quick off the mark. Four-wheel drive gives you loads of grip when you launch a car, and it helps you blast out of tight corners without any oversteer or the usual understeer you'll get from a front-wheel drive car. The old Golf R system was pretty clever. It could split the torque from the engine between the front and the back wheels to make sure it was going to the wheels with the most grip. However, the new Golf R is even cleverer. It can send different amounts of torque to each of the back wheels, just like in the new Arteon R and the Tiguan R. Now, I'm not talking about a few extra Newton meters here and there. It can actually send 100% of the torque across the back axle, so to either the right wheel or the left wheel, depending on where the most grip is. Now this helps you really accelerate hard out of tighter turns when you're going for it, because it sends all of the power to the outside wheel to help push you around the corner. This system is linked up to the Golf R's locking differential and stability program, so you can constantly adjust the car's setup to maximize grip. It's all very, very clever stuff. The old Golf R was a brilliant all-rounder, but if you were hooning around a racetrack, you couldn't really get the back end out on it, and it certainly wouldn't drift. Not surprising. It's four-wheel drive hot hatch, not a rear-wheel drive coupe. However, this new model should change that because it actually comes with a drift mode, just like the Mercedes-AMG A45S. What the system does is turn off the car stability control, no, half off or maybe a bit off, but I might come back on in a moment if I feel like it, off, fully off, BMW off. And it sends as much of the engine's power to the back wheels as possible. Okay, so it doesn't make it completely rear-wheel drive, but it's enough to do proper four-wheel drive drifts. You also get the usual comfort, sport, and race driving modes, but there's also a mode called Special, which has been programmed specifically for the Nürburgring. I reckon this Special setting will be the best for the UK. You see, this special mode puts the engine and gearbox into their sportiest setting, but it sets the suspension to be a little bit softer so you can soak up massive bumps, kind that you find on the Nürburgring. But those are also the kind of bumps that you find on our crappy surfaced British country roads, the kind of place where you want to be hooning this Golf R around. More power equals more speed, right? Well, it's normally true, but the new Golf R isn't actually quicker than the old car, even though it has 20 more horsepower. Volkswagen says it will do 0 to 60 miles an hour in 4.7 seconds, which is exactly the same as the old version did it in. It's also the same as the Mercedes-AMG A35 and 0.1 of a second quicker than a BMW M135i and an Audi S3. But what these German manufacturers will say these cars will do 0 to 60 miles an hour in is as though you're driving them on ice, because they're actually a lot quicker in reality. In fact, I've drag raced the new S3 against the BMW M135i against the A35. Now, if you fancy seeing that video and to find out which of those three cars is the quickest, I've actually put a link in that pop-out banner up there. If you click on it, you can go watch that video. Most fast cars are limited to a 155 mile an hour top speed, especially those made in Germany. It's just something the manufacturers agreed on years ago, but you can pay extra to raise this speed limit in some really fast cars, like the Audi RS6 and the Mercedes-AMG E63S. The RS6 will do 174 miles an hour and the E63S will hit 186 if you de-restrict them. And now you can do the same in the new Golf R. You see, there's a £2,000 performance pack that ups the top speed from 155 to 168 miles an hour if you really need to be able to go that extra 13 miles an hour. Now, this performance pack also gets you larger 19-inch alloy wheels and a bigger rear spoiler that, according to Volkswagen at least, actually produces some real downforce. Does it really? Or is it just for show? What do you think? Go on, let me know in the comments. I bet you're with me. We all know it's no good going fast in a straight line if you can't stop. So Volkswagen's fitted the new Golf R with much beefier brakes than the old model. It gets huge 357mm discs at the front, which is 17mm larger than in the old Golf R. And you get blue brake calipers as standard, because you can't have boring silver brakes on your whole hatch now, can you? Well, no. The new Golf R comes with the same dual-screen infotainment system as a regular Golf. So you get the same smartphone mirroring and voice control stuff as standard, though that voice control stuff is not particularly good. Try and help me out here. Put my heated seat on.
Search for shop nearby. Unable to find any Peter.
Shut up. Anyway, Volkswagen has actually added a bunch of other special features exclusively for the new R. There's actually a built-in lap timer and a G-meter, which no one's going to use. And there are some new R graphics for the digital driver's display, including a horizontal rev counter with shift lights, a bit like the ones you get in a McLaren 720S. So there'll be no excuse for cocking up those gear shifts. You could pick up an old Golf R for less than £33,000, but that was for a 3-door model with the manual gearbox. This new car is only available as a 5-door and with a 7-speed automatic gearbox, so it's quite a bit more expensive. Even the most basic new Golf Rs start at more than £39,000. That's actually more expensive than the entry-level version of the Audi S3. And with the Audi S3, because it's been out a wee while now, you can make savings on it through carwow. And if you're interested in finding out what those savings are, I'll put a link just up there. You click it, you go to carwow, and you can see the saving you can get on an S3, and you can also read the review that I've done on that car, or watch the video. It's up to you. Anyway, back to the Golf. You can make it even more expensive than that £39,000 by adding that £2,000 performance pack. So you're talking 41 grand for a Golf. I hope you'll enjoy the video. If you did, please give it a like. Make sure you subscribe to this channel as well and hit the bell icon to turn your notifications on. That way you will not miss a single upload. Now, if you click on that video window there, you can watch me drag race a Golf R against its key competitors, or down there for me to drag race a tuned Golf R against an Audi RS3. That's a really interesting race because I've also got a standard Golf R in it as well. If you click on that box there, you can go to carwow to see how much money you can save on a new car. In fact, if you just want to just check that out at any time, you can simply Google "Help Me Carwow" and me and my team will help you choose the right car for you and get it for a fair price from one of our trusted dealers. Thanks for watching.